Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Joseph Hammer. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm an associate professor of counseling psychology at the University of Kentucky and a licensed psychologist in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And welcome to my website. This video will provide a brief overview of some of the resources that you can find on this website that may be of interest. This is the home page where you're watching this video, probably. The About section has some basic information about me on the bio page with links to my current curriculum vitae and links to my other scholarly sources, as well as a link to my YouTube channel where I have a lot of educational resources and a link to the department where I work. My diversity page talks a little bit about my social location and what it means to me as a cisgender, heterosexual white man with a host of other identities that powerfully shape how I move about in the world and are treated by those around me and the systems I'm embedded in. And then I have a page about my teaching, about the consultation I provide. I provide compensated consultation in the areas of my expertise, and there are links to more information about that. I do not currently provide therapy to people at this time because I'm busy with other things, but if that changes, there will be information about that on my therapy page. In the research section of my webpage, I have information. I have a list of my publications with a link to the official publication on the journal website and a free PDF that anybody can read so that you're not stuck trying to find the article behind a paywall. So that's what that is. My program of research talks about what it is that I research and why I do that and how I do that. The Hammer Lab is an introduction to the folks at various developmental levels who are part of my research team and what we do together. And then I've got pages for prospective PhD students, master's students, and undergraduate RAs, those folks who are interested in potentially joining the lab, information about how to express interest in what I'm looking for in those students. I also have web pages on some of the instruments I've developed for researchers and practitioners looking to measure mental health seeking attitudes and intentions. A shortened version of the internalized stigma of mental illness scale that we worked on, and the help seeker stereotype scale, and then the help seeking factors mind map gives you a sense of just a small sliver of some of the factors that have been studied related to help seeking. Which I hope to update this soon. And then help seeking in the media are some good popular press, journal articles, and videos that help elucidate why help seeking research is important, that talks about treatment access and health service research and why this treatment gap is a problem. And it's a nice introduction for folks who may not have a research background. And then I have some bi-factor analysis resources for those folks, researchers doing factor analysis stuff and want to be able to do bi-factor analysis as a part of their work. In the Psych Grad School section, I have a host of resources for folks thinking about potentially a psychology graduate degree or a degree in a related field like counseling or social work or marriage and family therapy, stuff like that. The one-stop shop page is this graduate school advice page. So this is a big list that links to all of my videos and written resources, as well as links out to some other resources provided by other organizations or professionals that I think are really helpful. The biggest section is on getting into graduate school, so a bunch of stuff that folks considering graduate school in counseling psychology, clinical psychology, other related specialties of health service psychology, or related mental health professions like counseling or social work. These are resources, videos, and written resources for that. And then there's a smaller section on thriving in graduate school, some things for those already in graduate school that people can think about, and then a little bit about after graduation, some next steps. So this is the one page to go to if you want a nice little review and description of all the things that are offered. And so from that page, it will provide links to things such as a page on what the ideal graduate school applicant looks like, specific mostly to counseling and clinical psych. Give some details, give something that people can aim towards in terms of what their curriculum vitae should look like and their prior experiences. The mental health career professions test as of this recording has been completed over 57,000 times by people who are wanting some guidance on what mental health professions they should consider. It provides interest scores on 21 different mental health occupations that people may be interested in pursuing, and a lot of people find that helpful. I've got a webpage dedicated to the differences and similarities between counseling psych and clinical psych. I have some information about how to identify the best doctoral programs in counseling psychology for you. There's a list of master's programs in counseling and counseling psych for folks to consider. And then an analysis of personal statement of purpose for counseling psych PhD and PsyD applications. We looked at what programs across the country from APA accredited doctoral programs, what they're looking for in a personal statement. So this provides some helpful guidance as you're thinking about applying to a doctoral degree in counseling psych, some of the things that are asked for. And a lot of this advice applies to clinical psych and to school psych to some extent. And then I've got a whole video series on how to get into a counseling psych PhD program, which covers a variety of topics related to that. It's a comprehensive video series. The Counseling Psychology Faculty Research Interests list, which is a list that looks like this, can be linked through to this, of the various APA accredited programs and the faculty who are there, which can be helpful to get a sense of who's doing what kind of research. And for those exploring graduate school, that may be an option of interest as you're thinking about, well, what professors work at what schools and who might I be excited to work with if I go into a doctoral program in that way. And here's a link where you can ask me a question about graduate school, and I will reply to students interested in that. Though, of course, I ask you to peruse my existing resources to see if that question might have already been answered by some of my resources. And then on my general resources page, this is stuff not specific to getting into psych grad school, information about how to find the right career, which primarily links to the Systematic Career Exploration Approach website, which is a self-guided tool for folks to explore what occupations may be a good for them may be a good fit on the basis of interest, skills, etc. It's a resource that some people will find helpful and some other people will find less helpful. So I made it freely available to there because most resources like this, you've got to pay to access. So that's there. List of research skill development resources is good for people who are trying to develop skills in literature search and retrieval, literature review and synthesis, and some of these other aspects of the research process. So I'm always adding new resources to this list as we go. And some people find that helpful. A list of free archival data sets. A lot of people they want to find data they can analyze. They don't want to have to collect the data. And so this provides a list of public data sets that people can get for free and analyze and then publish on or present on. It's helpful for reducing barriers to getting involved in research. List of helpful statistics tutorial videos. A lot of people love to learn statistics through videos. So we have videos on general methods, a bunch of SPSS tutorials, since that's a common analytical package, and then M+ for fancy stats, a bunch of videos, and then a Qualtrics survey platform and stuff like that. So there's some resources for that to learn how to do various statistical things. A lot of people who are interested in learning talk therapy skills, like this list of psychotherapy and counseling demonstration videos here, including like CBT specific ones, acceptance and commitment therapy, dialectical behavior therapy. Just it's nice to see some helpful examples sometimes for folks. For folks who are applying for psychology licensure in Kentucky, this is a step-by-step guide on that, since it's hard to find good guidance sometimes on applying for licensure. It can be a secretive, difficult to understand, scary process. Counseling Psychology University faculty job openings for those folks. It links to a list here. So you can see not only what jobs are currently being posted, but you can look at trends over time and look at the contents of job ads to see, okay, if I might want to become a counseling psych professor, what are the job ads asking for? What sort of stuff are they looking for in a new assistant professor or whatever? So this sort of resource can be helpful to be able to see what kind of jobs are there if you specifically want to go into academia, which only a small percent of folks who get a doctoral degree in counseling psych or clinical psych go into academia. Most go into practice in some form. But for those of us who want to go into academia and be professors and do research and whatnot, that can be a useful resource. And then for those who are licensed psychology professionals, a list of free CE credit courses, because you got to maintain your licensure if you're a licensed psychologist, just like for other licensed professions. And so this is a list of free courses. You spend no money and earn some CEs that you can submit to your licensure board. And then there's some information on Kentucky Master's licensure at the master's level, because again, that can be sometimes hard to understand. So for those who are exploring this in Kentucky, that can be a useful resource. So that is an overview. And of course, if you want to contact me, this contact form here is the best way to do that. So that is an overview of some of the resources that I've made available on my website. I'm recording this as of August 2022. You know, these things are subject to change, and so I'll look to re-record this video periodically as I make substantive changes to the website to reflect new content. And so thank you for visiting my website. I hope that some of these resources I mentioned may be of interest and helpful to you. Thanks a lot. Bye.